Hello, it's Sadie. I wanted to do this quick video. This may end up being a part two, but it's something that came up that I saw earlier this week that I wanted to talk about because I think it's important to talk about. This is another Dark Truths of Spiritual Awakening, and this is about symbols, sigils, and tattoos. Okay. I want to say for the starting off, I love tattoos. I love body art. I don't currently have any, but I've always loved it. I've always been very drawn to it. Um, and I think it's amazing. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because everything is energy, okay? Everything. Everything is energy. And everything has a certain vibrational frequency. Symbols, words, letters all have a certain vibrational frequency. And it's important to know that when you are writing certain symbols, working with certain symbols or sigils, and sigils are just symbols that are used for magical use, okay? When you are tattooing certain symbols or sigils or words on your body, and especially the placement of where they are placed on your body, understand that because everything is energy, that you are making a covenant, like a contract, almost like a soul contract, with whatever you are imprinting on your body or whatever you are writing down or using as a symbol or sigil. So you just want to be very mindful and very careful of what you use. This is coming up because I saw a video on TikTok with a guy who was talking about he got a certain symbol tattooed on his forearm. And the symbol itself was an astrological symbol for the sign of Pluto. But in our modern world, a lot of symbols have been changed. Their meaning has been changed. So Pluto is the planet Pluto, obviously, but Pluto also represents the god of the underworld and mythology, right? And so a lot of things have double meanings or inverted meanings in our current world, in our current environment, especially language, the language that we use, the words that we speak have multiple meanings. Okay. And so where this person had it placed on their forearm was something that actually some of the ancient cultures use to invoke certain beings, certain deities, certain entities. And so this person may have inadvertently invoked something that they weren't trying to invoke because of that specific symbol that they had tattooed and the placement of the tattoo. This is true of Ouija boards. If you've ever looked at a Ouija board or used a Ouija board, and I'm not recommending that to you, do whatever you want. I'm just saying, if you've ever looked at one, you see that there are certain symbols and certain sigils on the Ouija board. That is why the Ouija board can be used to conjure and contact other realities, other entities, the other side, so to speak, because of the certain symbols that are there. And so everything in our world is symbolic. Everything is energy, and a lot of the symbols that we see have many and multiple meanings. So I know there's, certain people, certain practitioners. I am not a witch. I do not consider myself a witch. I believe that when you tap into your true divine energy, you are magic. And so you don't need to use magic because you are magic. You just need to align to the magic that you are, right? That's my personal belief, but everybody do you. My tarot teacher was a Wiccan. She was a Wiccan priestess. So, everybody does their own thing. This spirituality is one size does not fit all. So everybody's got their own way of connecting to their inner power, connecting to source, and you should have your own way. It is unique to you. But why I wanted to make this video is because it is very important to understand that, again, every word in our world, every symbol in our world, every sigil in our world has multiple meanings. The pyramid, for example, has multiple meanings. The symbols and sigils on the dollar bill and on currency have multiple meanings. Okay. And so it's just very, very important to understand that, because we live in an inverted world. A lot of meanings have been suppressed, hidden, or inverted. But if you're especially working with energy and you're gonna, tattoo certain tribal symbols on your body, be very mindful of, number one, knowing what you're tattooing. 555, as I said that. Know what it means. I mean, we've all heard the stories of, as I see the butterfly flying by over there. We've all heard the stories of the guy who wanted the Japanese symbol of warrior tattooed on him, and he got what the equivalent would be of idiot tattooed on him. Okay. We've all known those stories. Okay. But even more than that, as I was mentioning before, sometimes we can inadvertently open portals to other dimensions, to other worlds, to beings, to entities, to deities. And once the portal is open, it's very, very hard to close it. And so this is just very important if you're writing symbols, writing sigils. I know that there's certain people who use sigils for manifestation, um, who get certain symbols tattooed on their body. Know what you are placing on your body, know what you are writing, because writing on paper is literally spelling. It is a spell. So you are conjuring, creating energy. You are a creative source. And so, with your attention and your intention, writing a certain symbol could be creating something that you may not want to create. This is F around and find out season. Okay. So you don't want to F around. You don't want to find out negative ways, like the guy in the video that I watched who literally created a mimic kind of spirit that was calling his wife's name, and they were in a different room, and he's like, that's not me. But I also believe that that person was actually practicing occult practices and did conjure something. It wasn't like just a inadvertent putting that symbol, that specific symbol, on his forearm and that specific placement. And there was more there, but you still can inadvertently create and invoke things that you don't necessarily want to create and invoke because of using certain sigils. Certain sigils are literally portals to other worlds. Okay. Your hands are portals. Certain areas of your body are meridians, and again, energy portals, energy frequencies. Um, if you get someone's name tattooed on your heart, right? And you and Anthony break up, that was your first boyfriend, you love them for a long time, and then they break up, and it's been 30 years and you still can't get that person off of your mind. That is because you have literally coveted them to yourself. Like saying a marriage vow, writing someone's name on your heart is like a vow to them. It is a covenant. It is an energetic contract. And so if you feel like you can't let go of someone, that is the reason why, if you have a tattoo of their name. Okay. The other thing too, and this is not for those, because I know I'm going to get comments and emails. This is, if you've been with your person for like 20 years, you guys are happy. This is not your video. Okay. Of about being cautious about getting their name tattooed on you. This is not your reading. If you have your kids' names tattooed on you in certain places of your body, like, this is really not about that. This is just about understanding that everything in our world, especially symbols, are symbolic, and they have multiple meanings, multiple expressions. And words have power. Symbols have power, especially sigils, because they're used for magical purposes. And so if you don't know what you're using or how you're using it, it's important to understand what you're connecting to, what you're contracting energetically if you put it on your body, and what you may be conjuring up by use of certain symbols and certain sigils. It's just important to know. Spiritually, we're becoming spiritual adults, and like, you gotta know at this point, okay? um, the other thing too is like if you get someone's name tattooed on your butt, right? If you think about biologically, that area of the body is the excavation system. It is used to rid the body of garbage. And so if you get someone's name tattooed on that area and then all of a sudden you guys break up like a couple months later and everything was good before, that could be the reason why. So it's not just what you get tattooed, it is the placement on the body. Understand, do your research. If you are going to tattoo anything on your body, where it's being placed is equally as important as what you are getting tattooed, okay? So do your research on that area of the body, of how it's going to impact you, of how the symbol or sigil, if you're going to use old tribal symbols and stuff, understand what meanings they have. Do your research, because again, we are entering a time where everything is sort of being revealed. There is no veil. Um, Timelines, dimensions are converging. Um, More is opening up. And so to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And there's no excuse for not knowing. There's no excuse for not knowing at this point. When I was a teenager, I was obsessed with ancient Egypt and specifically the Book of the Dead. And there was a certain hieroglyphic, which again is a sigil. It's a symbol. It was their language, but it had also alternate meanings that I wanted to get tattooed on me. And the opportunity that I did have to do it, I kind of chickened out. And now I'm grateful that I didn't do it, because it could have inadvertently opened me up to certain things I didn't want to be opened up to, or conjuring certain things I didn't want to conjure. Again, you have to understand the spiritual world, the non physical world, is just as real, if not more real, than the physical world. And something that we're all coming into is like how we live and exist in all the worlds, how we are multidimensional beings. We are both spirit and flesh. We are both mortal and immortal. And because of that, we exist. We exist in all of it. But other things exist too, not just human beings. I know there's a lot of talk lately of aliens in the ocean. That's more like interdimensional beings that live underneath the core of the earth, that live in the ocean. There's also extraterrestrial beings that are not earthbound. A lot of us are hybrids of other beings. I know this video is getting weird, and I'm going to bring it back. But again, you just understand that symbols, sigils, words have meaning, have more meaning than what you may know. And whenever you get something placed on your body specifically, you are making a covenant, an energetic contract with that thing that you will carry around on your body until you get something removed. And so cover ups don't work energetically. It would be removal that would be what would help to clear a certain energy, clear a certain vibration, clear a certain person from your life if you have them tattooed on you and you're not in a relationship with them anymore. And so again, Um, just be mindful of what you get placed on your body, of what symbols and sigils you use for manifestation. Not everything is as it seems. We know that, but be vigilant and use your discernment. Um, and just because it works and it's good for one person equally does not mean that it works and it's going to be good for you. With certain sigils, especially like ancient tribal sigils, people of those tribes, people of those bloodlines have access that you may not have because you're not of that bloodline and you're not of that tribe. Vice versa. You may have a very like strong Celtic background and bloodline where certain sigils and symbols from that time frame would be of use and power to you, but detrimental to someone else who was not of that bloodline. I'll do a separate video on how like bloodlines and like that shit actually really does matter. um, but for now, just be vigilant and mindful of what you're getting tattooed on you, where you are placing it on your body. Understand the chakra systems, the meridians, and how everything is connected to each other. And so understand that before you get something tattooed on you, how it could affect you and how it could affect that thing. Um, and just know that all symbols, all sigils, all letters, all language, names have multiple meanings. And so do your research and be aware of what those meanings could be for you and how they could impact you, both in positive ways, but also in negative ways. All right. Quick video on that. I hope that video helped. Sending you so much love. Take care.